Welcome to Instant Discussions.
Yeah.
This week we will be discussing Daredevil.
Welcome, motherfuckers.
Yeah, my name is John.
I just went there.
Hello, I'm Tony Estrada.
I'm Steffan.
And this is the final episode of Instant Discussions.
Yep.
Unless you listen to the
Dun, dun, dun.
podcast, and then it's not the final episode.
Oh.
So sorry for saying that and making you freak out and thinking.
So many.
I thought there was just the final. Okay.
You scared so many people right now.
You got like 15 minutes to pick a movie for next week for the podcast.
Yeah.
You can do this.
One of many problems about that.
So yeah, thanks for watching. Anytime you've watched the show, we've had fun doing video stuff. But
Did you really do that? Jesus.
I quit. So I think we've had
Had
fun.
to do it once. All right.
We've had fun doing video stuff.
We
and
have had
I
fun.
think if we do video stuff in the future that relates to this show directly, it's going to be something that's a little more inventive.
Yeah, we might maybe once in a long while we'll do something for this. But
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for anybody who liked to masturbate to me talking, at least my facial expressions while I talk.
well, and hold on now. Now we put out the content. Rule 34 has been satisfied.
Yeah, the content's out there. So now you've got the audio for the rest of this.
Yeah.
But we also think that, the majority of our podcast listeners are podcast listeners. So they don't need the video
True.
for that.
That is a fact.
And 50% of our videos is audio. So we're really just cutting back 25% so that the other 75% can be stronger.
And with the 7% net gain, we're going to
Yes.
see some real incline.
In the next quarter of fiscal profits, I think business-wise,
What do we at, 17 cents?
synergetic and all of that.
We like to be flexible yet firm.
So moving on to Daredevil. Did you guys watch this or listen to this?
Well,
Or
I
both?
watched it because it's a movie
Yeah.
and the audio was on.
Funny enough, there are moments where I watched it and didn't listen.
Nice. There are some moments where you're not paying attention to the audio, you're just like watching because it's amazing what's going on there. But
Dude, the hallway.
the hallway scene, yeah, that's episode 2.
Yeah.
Cut, man. We'll be jumping around a bit. This is the first 3 episodes that we'll be discussing now. Tony and I are going to bite our tongues because we couldn't help ourselves and we watched the whole thing. And Steffan,
I don't know how you guys did that in a week.
that's how you do it. You binge it, like.
Yeah, I don't know how you stop watching at 3.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Just like you hadn't watched other
I don't know.
Netflix original shows.
It's just been too hot for me, I guess.
It's too hot to handle.
Yeah.
So I guess you watched the Arrested Development.
Yeah, I binge watched
Version.
that.
Yeah.
There was a party that
So that's-
I attended.
That's pretty much how
That was rough.
most Netflix things go, though. Is it's binge watching it, not necessarily all in one day, but over the course of a week, like you'll watch 3 episodes at a time.
Granted, I binge watched the fridge out of Fringe,
Yeah. So it's
Fringe was good.
That's how you do it.
but I
these
did it for
shows.
like a few seasons, and now I don't remember a goddamn thing
No.
except dude's weird.
That's the difficult thing with it, but it's like potato chips. You just keep going with it. So I
Quit. Okay.
So it's in the interest of
Science.
this show of science. Actually, yes. Since this show deals with a blind protagonist, they made a big effort to have the audio descriptions available for these episodes. And Netflix is pushing that more on all of their shows and movies. They're trying to get audio descriptions so that visually impaired viewers can listen to it and still get the full experience as they can.
It's not a full experience.
It's a lot. It sounds like it's actually kind of like an audiobook. I went through and re-listened to the first 2.5 episodes, and
That's a waste.
it's interesting. Like you get a lot out of it, and it's still pretty descriptive. The guy's a kind of monotone voice. Occasionally gets a little energy in there, but
They're like, Foggy looks like an idiot.
kind of.
It's like, all right.
The stuff that you get. But the action scenes, he does his best at describing the action, but for most scenes it's fine, but that hallway scene, it just doesn't compare.
I can't imagine
you
that
cannot
compares.
compare to the visual style that they've done.
and I'd want to even say like, oh, this is one cut.
Yeah.
by the way.
One cut. Well, they kind of describe it. It's all in the hallway. Shot of the hallway. Like, guy goes out of the hallway. Guy goes back from the hallway, and then you see him leave. We see these guys come in. Like, they try to describe it in that way, as you're still not getting the full picture as you would in a normal fight scene where it's following everything. It is kind of, it feels disjointed in the way that is. So it kind of translates a little bit in there. But I thought that was interesting to see how it was like to kind of do it in that way.
I didn't listen to that like that.
No. All right. Well, aside from all of that. These first 3 episodes, I think, pretty much encapsulates the origin story for all of the main players in the show, beginning with, of course, Matt Murdock's story. And then by the end of the 3rd episode, we've at least been introduced to Fisk and gotten to know more about gotten to know that.
That's it, folks. John's going to die.
What?
We don't say his name.
Yeah.
So
Shit, I'm in your friend circle.
I meant my own.
God damn it, John, now I'm dead.
You're all dead.
So when I originally saw Fisk, I was kind of like,
Really?
Well, because I read a lot of Punisher, so in comparison to the Punisher, he's in the first 3 episodes, he's kind of really soft.
Yeah.
Not as violent I was hoping.
His introduction is very, very subdued in that, but
it shows a very human side to him, which later on just kind of switches how you look at him overall. So
I like the way they introduced him and in that painting that I was looking at in there. But the first time we see him, it's just his handcuffs. So we've got this mysterious kingpin figure, if you will. I don't know why I use the word kingpin.
I don't know why you'd use that. I was trying to stay away from that. Thanks a lot, John.
For the employer. Some sort of daredevil that does wants to take him down. He's wasn't it Travolta in the Affleck movie, or
no?
Is that the Punisher? That's Punisher.
That's Punisher.
Okay.
No, compared to the Ben Affleck movie, this was just amazing.
The Ben Affleck version. But Vincent D'Onofrio. I think
this was like Citizen Kane compared to the Ben Affleck version.
Oh,
the guy, especially the guy who played Matt Murdock, was amazing.
He did a really good job.
I thought he was a great portrayal of that. He
does a really good job.
Embodied the character really well.
Yeah, I really appreciated him. I do not like the secretary.
You don't?
No,
I liked her.
But that's just me.
I think
it really bothered me from the first episode to the second episode. Like all of a sudden,
her shifting character.
Yeah,
She's very
awful.
different. I almost thought she was a different person in the first when I was watching that.
Because you're a completely different person. I know you seem to be Foggy. Really, really it feels like you guys have been friends for a while.
They had been friends for a while.
Whereas no, because she was unpacking the office still.
Yeah. You're thinking of someone else. They weren't friends before.
Not before, but I mean after somebody saves your life.
I know
essentially.
they become fast friends, and it's one point of weakness in there. Although I think that her character shift does get better later on.
And I'm sure that was the reason that choice was. I don't know, but it felt like It just feels so contrived. It's hard to
seem like they need to seem like a team, but it did seem a little quick. For that.
If that just was postponed till after the bar night, I would have been way more accepting.
Yes, I think that would have been a good choice.
But it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
and I think that if that choice was made, it would have been fine for the rest of the series too. And nothing. It would have seemed very this makes sense, and no one would have questioned it. But for me, that was very contrived and not in a good way.
I think it just needed to be pulled back a little bit. It's not, unreasonable that she would. She's already grateful.
Yeah, so contrived. I don't think. Whatever.
I don't know, but she's grateful. She's going to be trying to fit in, but I think that she seemed to fit in too well already.
Yeah,
there needed to be a little bit more time for her to establish that.
Yeah,
so I think that would have been good. But other than that, it's pretty decent. The first, the first case, we get introduced to her by her case.
Yeah.
And I think that's,
it's their first case.
Yeah. Their first case, first time being lawyers. So we get introduced into the lawyer side of him as well as the Daredevil side. It gets beaten up.
Why would you use that word?
I don't know.
It's
I
weird.
would use this. The Devil of Hell's Kitchen, I mean.
Everybody who's watching this knows exactly. It's the fucking name of the title. The title says Daredevil. You can say Daredevil.
I don't know what you're talking about. So who's that person with the electric personality? The electric personality. That girl with the. She's got that just electricity. Anyway. Yeah. All right. So his origin.
That
I think
crime boss. He's some kind of king.
Yeah. But they put that pin in his.
Oh my God. Okay, Kingpin and Daredevil. Let's get going. We all know who it
I'm trying to
is.
move on. I'm trying to get onto the.
And if anybody doesn't know that that's a Kingpin, then they don't even know what the fuck we're talking about because they never read anything else or saw any other movies. We're fine.
So the scene where the kid becomes blind.
So funny. I was like, take that, you idiot.
You know, I didn't like the kids acting in that part, but the rest of the flashbacks I didn't mind him. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah. And the rest of them, it's good.
The first blinding,
Like if you really were to play that part of your eyes like burning, you would have been just screaming and like freaking out and writhing in pain.
It's a difficult scene to play.
If you played it right, we would be like, that was awful. It would have been a horrible thing to watch.
Regardless, it probably wouldn't work. But the point mostly is there that I didn't have hopes for that kid in the beginning as an actor, and then seeing later on, like, he did a good job.
Like with the boxing.
No, the kid was really good.
That was much better.
Sewing up his dad.
So that I'm pleased with.
Yeah.
I like the dad too.
Yeah.
Degenerate dad.
Yeah. I think he was good, and he provides a good enough role model for his son. He's not perfect,
best he could do.
But yeah.
Best he could do. God damn it.
And Foggy's good.
Yeah, I really like Foggy.
But he has such a huge head and a small face in the middle. It's really weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice to have characteristics though.
Yeah,
like defining features.
I really wanted him to bone the
chick.
Yeah, but then he bones like the other chick who's way hotter and way out of his league.
Okay, sure, why not?
Oh wait,
I don't know what you're talking about, Tony. So going back to the first 3 episodes, I like his.
Apparently, he boned some girl.
And he does seem like a guy that would be friends with.
So, spoiler alert:
guy.
He's at least straight.
Yeah, a good wingman to a blind guy.
See, like it's like It's hard for me to say anything because the later on is the best parts.
Oh yeah.
Like learning about this stuff was fun to learn about the characters, and you got to learn about their character traits, and then later on it just is so fucking amazing.
Yeah, but they establish it.
Did they? Shit, I don't know if the ninja guy.
No.
See all the fucking amazing
all the
scenes.
Stuff you're thinking of, that's later on. So let's go to Steffan here.
Yeah, let's talk to Steffan for this one. I'm trying to.
This might need
Let me
to be
see
what happens.
So what are some of
right?
your favorite things in these first 3 episodes? Now, I want to say too, I was talking about the origin story also to say that I think it was someone on Geek Lord had mentioned that they wanted in the first episode when he gets blinded, they wanted to see
one of them almost joined me today.
Turtles in the sewer.
Oh yeah,
as part of his origin. Now they didn't show the turtles, but they've showed the stuff going down into the sewers. Like it's see it dripping there, so it's there. Like I think that it's set up enough.
That's fun.
It'd be too cheesy.
It's a fun reference.
And actually,
it would be
turtles.
It would be pretty cheesy.
Yeah. So I think that was nice.
Or even if it was like outside a turtle shop.
Yeah. Outside a pet store there.
Yeah.
Some turtles there. Turtles in the window.
Specifically, no, turtle shop.
Just all turtles. Turtles, and a rat.
And a rat.
We only sell turtles and
one rat. We have a rat as a mascot. Why do you have a rat as a mascot? Shut up. That's why.
And it's right next to a pizza shop. So what were some of your favorite parts?
The hallway scene.
Yeah.
Because I love fight scenes. I love when it's single shot. Oh my god, like it harkened me back to Old Boy, like in a heartbeat. Where I was just like, yes, ultimate hallway, 3-minute long fight scene that is in one shot. Yep. This is fantastic.
It's very violent for a Marvel thing too. That's what was nice. Like,
because like the guy, like
now.
I say, hurting his eyes. That was great. Although I will say though, some of this was kind of spoiled for me.
Aw.
Because before I was able to get around to watch it, all the guys were watching it, and I live with them, and so like I would see bits and pieces. Like that was one of the scenes I saw was him with the eye. I saw that before I actually went and watched it, and I also saw at the end of episode 3 where he's looking at the painting, and I think I saw bits and pieces of him like interacting with the girl that everyone that watches Kevin Smith movies thinks is hot.
She was only in one Kevin Smith movie, but you're talking about Rosario Dawson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody thinks she's super hot, and I'm like, meh.
I think she's a lovely woman.
Is she? She's in the first 3.
No, she's in the first 2. The next 2. The second and third one.
No, she shows up in episode 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not in the first one.
Yeah, she shows up in episode 2. Cutman, she saves him from the dumpster,
and actually, this is one of my favorite roles of hers. Like I've seen her in a lot of movies, and I never bought into her, and this one I liked her. I think she fit well as her personality and as a nurse being from that area. And I'm waiting for. I want them to have sex. I want just everybody to have sex with each other.
Have sex. Just have a big.
Just watch
sex.
something, some kind of. I don't know what you'd call that kind of a show.
No.
Game of Thrones. All right.
Game of Bones.
Yeah.
No one's ever made that joke before. If you know. So,
I like the incest from that movie. Anyway,
least favorite parts then.
That's easy. It's that girl.
Yeah.
That transition super bothered me, like way hard. Like when I first started watching the second episode, I was just like, "This is lame. This is really
like
lame."
More time jump that we didn't see.
I also really think that these episodes do a terrible job of hooking you. That's just how I feel.
I agree.
They do a terrible job of hooking you.
I don't know about.
I can only imagine it does get really good.
Yeah, I don't know about terrible, but it didn't hook me the way I thought it was going to hook me.
Yeah,
but it was totally worth it.
It just does not.
It's like anime for me. Like the first few episodes usually suck for anime, and then they end up being awesome.
And I don't know why this is happening, like with the show,
it but a super great hook. Although I liked the end of the third, although it was just kind of.
But it's nothing.
I want to know more about that.
Yeah, it's nothing. It wasn't like they had any real information or really anything that Fisk really did, other than just, I'm alone.
I think it's just the intrigue that
I'm so alone.
I think it's the mystery.
Yeah, I didn't like emo Fisk either.
They probably just was it just because look, I haven't read the comics. I really don't know anything about Kingpin. So for me, that's just okay. It's just some fat guy looking at a painting that's in charge of all those things, and he feels like he's alone. Like that's all it is to me.
I think aside from any comic thing, and because it's a series and not a movie that's ending right there, you've seen this. There's a person in the shadows that's referred to, someone who's running the organization.
Right.
If this is any type of crime story, and we've only been introduced to him in the slightest way, and I felt like I wanted to know more about him. That's what I got out of the first 3. So it didn't work.
No, I did. I did, and I felt that was a terrible piece of information to be the first piece of information you learn at the very end of an episode.
All right.
That's how I feel about it. And I think that it's possibly because Netflix releases it all at once, so it's not like they feel like they have to hook us hard, but
they do want to.
But I think
they understand it when they see the metrics. They see people.
What I'm saying though is that I hope it's not an undersight.
I don't know, but I know that they do want people to be hooked on it. It's not like they're not trying to hook people on those episodes because they see the metrics that people watch and the first episode of it, and then don't watch the next episode.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get people to watch all of the episodes.
See, for the third episode, I thought it would have been fine, but they could have hooked you if you see him super emo or whatever.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he had to take care of something in a really fucked up way, like he personally had to take somebody out in a violent way. Then I think you would have been like, holy shit, okay, he's an emo, but now he's kicking ass. I want to know more about this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and having that dichotomy would have been really interesting.
But instead you're looking at a big white painting.
And I would be excited to watch the next episode so I can find out more about him. But right now, he's just some guy that's emo that's in charge of this thing and nothing more.
Well, I unfortunately have to disagree with you on that, only for my taste. I really like not seeing that. Yeah, I liked the way it left us on the third episode, because I like not seeing anything bad about him in that time, not seeing him getting his hands dirty. And just leaving it there and
see the Kingpin I know he's just ruthless.
I think, but I think that if that's the direction they're going to go, they needed to not have that scene at the end of the episode like that, because it's acting like a hook, when it's totally not, in my opinion.
I like that scene.
Okay,
I liked it, and I
think it's a fine scene. I just don't think it should have been the end episode.
Okay, that's exactly where I think it belonged.
Yep.
So, we're on different sides of that.
That's fine.
So this was...
I'll agree that you agree with me.
The series was created, and the first 2 episodes were written by Drew Goddard. I don't know if you know that name.
Yep, Super Troopers, such a good movie.
He did some sort of cabin movie that took place in the woods.
I don't believe in blasphemy.
Okay. So aside from that, so I did that way.
I was talking about his name.
Yeah, no, I was talking about the movie. You're talking over there. So I didn't know that he was involved in this. I guess I missed it when they were talking about it beforehand.
I actually looked that up before.
Totally missed it.
When I first started the name, I got excited.
Yeah,
I was pleased.
I was more excited when I saw, because I looked it up before I watched it, and I was more excited when I saw it was him that was behind it. So I was like, ooh, okay. Yeah. So
I think that was cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Did you have any least favorite parts in these first 3?
The first ones of my favorite parts were the kid interacting with the dad, because you had this. My dad's an alcoholic and kind of a dick, but you can tell he cares about me and he does want me to succeed.
Yeah. And
him dealing with like a blind kid, that can't be easy. So I like their interactions the most. The part I didn't like was Fist being a pussy, when I'm used to him being just a badass. But once again, like once we go to ratings, like the first 3 episodes, I'd have to give it a lot less. But the overall, oh god, so good.
Yeah.
God, I just thought of something that for liking, I really liked how much. Now that I think about it, I was able to suspend my disbelief about his abilities. Like, because now that I think about it, I'm like, what he did was really unrealistic, but I totally didn't question it.
Well, see, for
watching it,
for me, I'm sitting there thinking, well, because originally, right, it was he had every, the original origin, right, when he had like toxic stuff, and then it brought out like mutant powers, kind of. Yeah. So everything was enhanced. So for me, it was like, okay, yeah, it was probably from that shit that he got in his eye.
With the comic origin of it, so
yeah,
you're looking at it in a different light.
So for me, I'm thinking. I don't know the total background, but I'm thinking, okay, it was from the gook he got in his eyes, and then he got into whatever.
So I think there's more, like the suspension of disbelief is there for a bit, but I think the rest of the episodes make it better for you. So.
Well, I'm saying like, no, this is actually a good thing, just because I actually didn't at all think about it or question it or do any of that. I also, maybe that's because I have a spoiler happen for me. And it might be the spoiler you guys are immediately thinking of. It's probably the spoiler you guys are thinking.
Spoilers are terrible. So
sad.
Star ratings on these first 3 then?
Oh, did you do good, bad? You did.
I essentially did.
All right. Oh god, I didn't think about it at all.
All right.
I'd say for the first 3. Almost like if it ended right there, like let's say it was only 3 episodes long, it would be like a 3.
I'd be upset that it ended right there.
If it ended right there, it'd be like, okay, it's a 3. But the whole thing, 4.5 stars.
Right.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, because that's kind of how I feel about it as a 3 right now.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
With the first 3, I'd probably do 3.5. Yeah. But the whole thing, I'm more of a...
It's so
now,
much better.
5 star on
that. Having watched every episode that's currently available.
Yeah.
What was your rating for that?
5.
5? 5 for everything? Okay. Is
pleased.
Is the 4th episode when it picks up? Like when does it get good?
I don't know specifically, because as I was saying, my favorite episode is episode 8.
How much more do I have to get through to get to where it finally starts picking up?
Yeah,
yes,
scene
this is the one.
Yeah, the scene that
my favorite scene when I'm like, I'm in, is at the end of 4, and I'm like, oh my god.
Okay. So one more episode.
I think 4 ends pretty well.
At the end of 4, like the first day I was like, okay. End of 4, I was like, oh, I gotta watch the next one. I could not stop after 4. I watched almost all of them. I watched it all in one weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did a couple days. Yeah.
So I'll watch episode 4, and if I'm still unimpressed, I'm not going to watch the rest of them.
Yeah, by the end of 4.
Okay.
This is how I like deciding whether I'm going to watch shows or not. Because
if you don't like it after number 4, then skip to number 8.
Really?
If you're not going to watch anything else, I love 8. I love episode 8 so much.
Oh my god, so good.
That's just
yeah.
Emmy-winning episode.
And that's more of not that you should continue watching it by watching 8. It's
really
just it's such a good episode.
If you're absolutely not going to watch anything else, watch that, and that's
and then you quit.
It's a movie you're just going to watch.
Okay.
It's going to be unfortunate if you watch that and spoil the other stuff, and then realize that you want to watch the rest.
Yeah,
right.
But so hopefully 4 gets you.
Okay.
Hopefully 4 gets you.
Yeah, at the end of 4.
So there's your recommendations, folks.
Yeah. So, yeah. If you've been with us this far. Although this thing's already been out for a little while, so you've probably
a little while. Well, so has a lot of our
you've
stuff.
You've already seen all this stuff, you know. The way that these shows go. So thanks.
I want a pogo.
Do you want to talk about the rest of these after we kick this guy out?
Yeah, I want it to be taken out.
We could.
We can get into the other ones. So we'll do a little. We'll try to keep it quick after this. We talk about next week and talk a little more about all the spoilers for everything else if you've seen them all. So next week, what are we gonna watch?
Oh.
Did you pick it? You had time now. Or what are we gonna all listen to us talk about?
Yeah.
You're not gonna see us.
Well, we're still gonna be watching.
Insane Clown Posse, Gathering of the Juggalos, Part 3.
I will pick a movie. I'm finally not gonna do a blind pick actually, because this is a movie
because we just did this blind pick.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't feel like 2 blind picks in a row are a good thing. No, that's fine, actually. I'd be fine with all blind picks. But we don't have Des here.
I know.
Damn. I'm gonna pick probably one of my favorite movies of all time. No, I don't know. It's a really like this movie. But it's The Last Samurai. It's my favorite Tom Cruise film.
Really?
It's my favorite Tom Cruise.
It's a sequel to the first Samurai, which is not as good.
It's the spin-off of The Last of the Mohicans. I've never seen this.
Really?
No, because it was always the joke of Tom Cruise playing The Last Samurai.
Actually, there is a thing, the title, because the word samurai is also plural. Yeah.
No, it's samurais. There's 4 samurais.
And that's why there's that sort of confusion.
All right.
Around that.
Okay.
Oh, like moose and moose?
We'll talk about it more next week.
All right. We'll talk about it next time. Yeah. So Last Samurai next week. Thanks for watching.
My eyes, the goggles do nothing.
Stick around. Bye.
Bye.
So, Daredevil. Now we're going to spoil the entire season 1 of Daredevil on Netflix.
With a monkey.
Spank your monkey. Because monkey's actually seen everything.
So, the end of the 3rd episode, whatever. End of the 4th episode, when he gets the fucking door and all his brains come out, that was one of...
Smashing.
But it was so well done that you didn't actually see his head get smashed in. You just saw the bottom. But it was so, realistic.
That was pretty
But the sounds that it made... And visually, it was just like, oh God, I couldn't believe it. And it's not only just that; it's when he freaks out because he essentially got pissed off because he ruined a date.
Yeah, he made because he's trying to pass for the girl. He doesn't want her to see his kingpin side.
Yeah,
running everything there. He just wants to see. He's just a very sophisticated guy, and a really good guy. Mm-hmm. This guy's like, "Hey, we're in on the deal.
Yeah,
we're gonna do your crime activities, buddy."
Was that the Russian guys?
Yeah, I think so. He had it out with
because there's the Russian under guys and then the Chinese chick.
There's so many. It gets confusing.
And the white dude. Yeah.
Yeah. The money guy.
The guy from Ace Ventura 2 who hired the bounty hunter guys.
Yeah, that was it. I think it was great, and because the way you established that emotional character before, and you were talking about emo Fisk, I think that it makes it substantial when he beats that guy because it's an emotional reason. He doesn't beat him because he wronged him on a deal. He's not vindictive in a crazy way like that. When it comes to business, he takes care of it. Just if he's got to take a guy out, he'll have him. Have a hit guy sent to him. But he can get emotional, and that's the first time we're seeing that in him.
I really started to like Kingpin. That's when I started to like him. But then you kind of, when you understand his backstory, and he's kind of Darth Vader-ish. He really does want the town to be better.
And that's my favorite episode there, in Shadows in the Glass, episode 8. And I didn't look at the titles of most of the episodes. I didn't look at what number most of them were. But after watching that one, I had to write it down, like, this is the episode. And that's where we get to see, you get the reason why that painting is so powerful.
Yeah.
And after looking at it in the past couple, in the first couple episodes, I was starting to get it. I was like, it looks like this kind of dilapidated paint, building thing. And then, once it shows the painting there, I think it's probably nice that they did the direct comparison and had it fade to it. I don't know if it was absolutely necessary. I think that the audience gets it when they see those walls there, but it probably helps.
No, I think it was good. And I like that at first, like, they kind of tricked me. I was like, oh, he needs to buy an expensive painting. It's a piece of shit. He actually likes this girl. That's what he's doing. But no, he has a deep emotional connection to this painting. It was awesome. That was
the first thing when I saw that painting, too. It's just one of those, stupid art, paintings that has nothing to do with anything. But that made me look at art a totally different way than the stupid art paintings that's just nothing. When I see the paintings that are just nothing, it's not about that everyone can connect to a certain art piece. Like the most powerful art, it's the same way with the most powerful movies. When the stuff that I connect to the most is the stuff that's not the wide audience things, because it's going to hit a small group of people so much more than a broad audience. And that's the same thing with this art. Instead of just being an art piece that's really well done, landscape or something that's going to connect, a lot of people are going to say, oh, that's really good, really well done.
Yeah.
When you get something that's this avant-garde painting, most people are going to walk by it and say, who would pay money for that? Anyone could do that painting.
Yeah.
But when you see that that's the connection, like, it's drawing him to his childhood home. And he's got this nice, pristine, clean house, and by putting this painting up that reflects the wall in his home, he's got that connection to it. And then on top of that, when you take in his, killing his father, and his father's beating his mother, and he has to stare at the wall.
Yeah.
Staring at this wall. That emotional connection he has with just staring at that wall. It made me have a deeper appreciation for that kind of art, in that you can find this thing and someone's going to have a deep connection with.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense where some people pay a lot for what you think is shit.
Yeah.
Because they do have deep connections.
It does speak to them emotionally. Now, I'm sure there's lots of art collectors who are just doing it because it's the value, because it's the name on it.
Mr. Brainwash.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like, because, I gotta have that because it's a Banksy. That kind of thing where they're just buying it because of the name. Like, but it doesn't speak to you. You're not getting it because it speaks to you.
Yeah.
I think that makes it more powerful art.
Yeah, and then so going back to the death of his father, that he killed him, one of the things that I go back to then is thinking about all the times when he's talking about his cuffs. And like first you're like, is my father's.
My father's cufflinks. Like,
and then you see him looking through all these beautiful other cufflinks, and he just goes and chooses his father's.
He's still hung up on it.
Yeah.
He's completely hasn't gotten over that. But we see him get over it. And it's through, is it Vanessa? Yeah, I think it's Vanessa, the art woman. She helps him get over that, and it's also by connecting as a human with her, and he tells her what happened and what went on, and she can still he says he's a monster, and she says that you're not a monster, because she understands that he's saving his mom from getting beat. Like, his dad was not a good person, and first he instilled the things of, if this guy wrongs you, you should beat the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah, that's so awesome. He's like, no, kick him in the face.
Keep kicking him.
I was like, oh, God, yes.
Again, I get another moment of kid actors maybe not delivering it the way I want them to, when he's killing his father and saying, keep kicking him, keep kicking him. Again, the moment needs to be there. It has to be the way it is. But like with little Matt Murdock screaming when he gets blinded, just a little bit of the read. It's just like, and really, it seems like they're delivering it. They're acting. They're not living that moment as much. But I don't know. That's just a little thing. It's tough to work with kids anyway. So, but
I did like how the mom reacted how she like held him, and then he said that they brought pieces of him down within like 2 weeks. Oh my god!
You don't get noticed.
It's like no wonder he's fucked up.
Yeah, his mom helped to cover it up, but it's somewhat justified in that because he's not just killing his father. It's not a senseless murder entirely. He saved his mom from being beaten, and
it was going to happen anyway.
He's trying to improve that. Yeah,
he couldn't pay his money back from running for mayor.
Yep.
The other thing I like too is that I really thought that Foggy was going to end up with the receptionist chick, and then they allude to him like hooking up with the hot chick at the firm, which is way yeah. Oh wait, yeah, they didn't. Wait, did they?
They showed them in bed later on in the series. You see them in bed together. So
that's right. I forgot.
He has the fight with Matt. And that's another moment that's beautiful because first in World on Fire, we see a description at least of we get to see a representation of how he sees the world.
Yes, and which was cool.
To me, it's an enhanced version of echolocation because he's not seeing details. He can't read written word. And he can't see specific details on things, but he can see a very detailed sonogram. Essentially,
it's that, but then it's also the scent.
Yeah, he's got the sense and the touch added. He's got that added to it. But his is seeing in things. He can see outlines of people. He can see the depth in that. So it still is. It's not like as much as Foggy was saying. Essentially, you can see. How can you say that you're blind? He's not blind like most blind people are blind, but it's not pitch black, but it's still enough that it inhibits him. Like he couldn't really drive a car because he can't see the color differences in the lights at all. He wouldn't be able to see the differences in the lights. He wouldn't be able to see road signs. He'd be able to see that the signs are there. So like a stop sign, he could tell that there was a stop sign there because the shape would be there. Yeah. But he couldn't see what's written on the sign. So there's still a lot of things like he's legally blind, definitely.
Yeah. But I listened to 2 podcasts on the blind.
Okay.
And it does affect part of your brain that people used to see with the echolocating and stuff. So when I was watching it and he was explaining everything, for him to be able to fight as well as he did makes sense to me. Because not only is he seeing forward, he's seeing all around him, and he's able to pick up on little tiny things like...
Sighted heroes we're limited by only seeing forward at any given time, and we can use little bits of sound to help us. But when you're just using sound and he's learned over time to focus it, then it's always a 360.
Yeah, and not only that, like you could tell, behind a door, is it a hallway or is it a closet, and things like that. So he's going to have an advantage, which made sense in the world.
That helped him get this there.
Oh my God, when he rolls up and you see his journey, that was so good. And I love at the very end of that, when he like makes him the little present and gives it to him, he's like, fuck this, like we're out. Like this is not going to work.
He's trying to raise this like perfect warrior.
Yeah.
And he's still holding on to emotional connections.
Yeah.
So that's the part where, we're seeing our good side of our hero there because he does care about people.
Yeah.
And our, Zatoichi ruthless killer guy, he doesn't want him to care about people. He wants him to just be a senseless killer. But it's at the same time like getting to learn the backstories of Fisk at the same time as Matt Murdock. You see them; they both want to do good. They both want good for the city, and they just have different means of getting it. And at some times, especially the way that Matt Murdock gets close to wanting to kill Fisk there, and he's struggling with actually taking a life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're painting him as this terrorist and pinning all these things on him.
Yeah.
So as everyone else is seeing it, they're definitely seeing our hero as the villain, and they're seeing our villain as the hero. But as we're learning about Fisk too, we're like, well, maybe he's not as bad as Matt's making him out to be. Because he's justified in some of his things. Like, they're showing justification for it.
Well, at the beginning.
Yeah.
By the end.
By the end, too, that was the part where each person embraces their side. Matt embraces that he's not going to kill Fisk.
Yeah.
And Fisk embraces that. He's like, I tried. That speech that he gives in that final.
That's what I was going to say. When he's on TV.
Yes.
And he's talking about, like, he seems so sincere. Like, he's a really good actor.
But yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio amazing in this. But
he did great.
But Fisk is sincere when he says he wants the city to be clean.
Yeah. And you feel it.
Yeah, because he wants to just get rid of the lower class, get them out of there, and make this all clean and perfect, and trying to get rid of the crime in those ways. But he's got those horrible methods to doing it.
Yeah.
But when he has that speech in the end when he's making his escape, that he tried, he thought that he was the Good Samaritan. He thought he was helping the city out, but he's not the Samaritan. He's not the beaten man.
Oh yeah,
he is the evil nature. He's the ill. He is the ill intent. That's what he said, and he embraces that at the end, saying, I'm the bad things in this.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna do whatever it takes. He's not going to deny that side of him anymore. So we see him become that as we see.
Which was awesome.
Become Daredevil.
So I think one of the reasons I really like this was it reminds me of two types of like series. Of course, the superhero, and then there's a lot of like mafia. It reminded me a lot actually of Sons of Anarchy. How you have the different factions, because you have the Asians, the other ones, and they're like double crossing each other. Then they're making deals. I like all that. Yeah, and that combined is pretty awesome.
To me, I think of things like Godfather or Goodfellas, any of those mafia crime movies.
See, because like when, let's say, majority of the other superhero movies, you learn about the bad guy, you learn a little bit of background, or certain things. Yeah. But here, you're actually seeing the deals and seeing a lot more than you would.
It's so great that you got to take the time with it in a series this way.
Yeah, you got to take the time with them.
It's not super slow like some origin series are. By the time this is over, like we start out getting to see them as their true natures, essentially. A good form of them. They're right on the path. They're on the verge of becoming who they will be. And then by the end of the series, we've got Daredevil in his suit, and we've got
the suit is so badass. Yeah. When I first saw the suit, and you know what's coming. Yeah. Like you know it's coming, and you know
the basis of making the suit too. That it's made by the same guy that made Fisk's suits, but Fisk used threats to have the guy make his suits. And he was and Murdoch used the promise of safety. If he can stop Fisk, then his family is now safe. He doesn't have to worry about him anymore.
I thought it was kind of odd that they added the guy who made the suit, him explaining like what parts were stronger than the others by the color. It was kind of a weird thing. I thought it was interesting, but I was like, why'd they just throw that in there? I think
it's a thing because he's probably we missed the scene. They don't show us the scene of him describing how he wants the suit to look. Because he also needs to be a symbol. It's that same kind of Batman thing. He needs to be a symbol. And so I'm sure that he said like, all right, because of the materials I had to use, the black part's the strongest part, and because you wanted the red accents on there, the red's not going to be as strong. It could probably stop a knife. So try not to get hit in the red parts. Try to get hit in the black parts. And I think that's a good thing to show that there's like it's not just this magic suit. And there are going to be weaknesses because of the way you've had this made. And then seeing that later on, there's going to be things about that. And of course, the bad guys aren't going to know that until maybe they'll figure out it over time. But not be like, aim for the red parts.
And what about the ninja fight?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It was brutal.
It was like Scorpion when he just threw the hook and they just pulled him out. I was like,
dragging him by the
it was so much more violent than I was expecting.
Yeah,
it was a lot, which I appreciated because most Marvel comics that I read are just very violent, and for them to be able to take that and make which was much better than the movie, I was really surprised and excited.
Marvel's got different sides to it. Because they've got the Fantastic Four side and the side that's,
I don't read that.
Cleaner. There's some fun stuff, there's some good stuff in there, but then it's the side of Daredevil and Punisher and things that are just
some Wolverine.
This gave me hope for more things like Punisher to come out of this.
Well, that's one of the excited things that I had seen that they're talking about doing Punisher.
Nice.
I would love to see Punisher on Netflix.
Yeah, it's not in the current slate of 5 shows, but
no, but they're talking about it, which would be amazing. What do you think, Monkey?
Cool. Monkey doesn't care.
I hate that monkey. I hate Steffan. That guy's such a dick.
Terrible.
I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah. really great stuff in the series there. So overall, you said 4.5 for this thing.
Did I say 4.5?
I think you did. Did you say 4?
Oh, because of the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
If we're going for 4 and after, I'm giving it a 5.
I just say whole series, like, because you got to rate it on Netflix.
Yeah. If I was just gonna rate it, it'd just be a 5. Yeah. It was just the first 3 seasons that were kind of slow. But after the head explodes, oh god,
it's got to establish stuff. But I think the 4th episode really gets it in there, and I think it was some good stuff. But the way they develop those characters, especially the way they develop Fisk, I really appreciated that.
Yeah, like at this point,
I like a villain that's not just flat. It's a new trend that they've been doing a lot more of in showing the origins of villains and how they became what they are. Mm-hmm. And some people are getting sick of it because there's too much of that happening, like the Maleficent kind of thing. But I think it's a well-rounded character. You don't just have people don't
with
just
Fisk,
do things just because I'm evil. That's not how it happens.
Like I could watch a whole episode with just Fisk.
Yes,
I could, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. We got that great episode. We got the way that Foggy reacted to.
When Foggy started reacting, like I really had an appreciation for him as an actor, because he looked like he was on the edge of tears like the entire time. He's like, "How could you?" Like the way he did it, I was
everything
really surprised.
You know about this guy, and he's like,
and his flashbacks,
and he's so foggy. He's clouded by the thought of his best friend lying to him, that he's not really understanding.
Yeah, he was like, "Were you faking all that?
So you're not really blind?" No, I mean, I'm kind of. It's just not in the way that I was saying. And because he was so much in thinking that the Man in the Mask is a terrorist.
Yeah.
And just like, you are this terrorist? Did you blow up those? Did you kill these people?
Oh, yeah,
like how much? So he's dealing with so many things at once.
But Daredevil was kind of like he's being super nice to Foggy at first when he was freaking out.
Yeah.
But then he just didn't give a shit, and he kind of just like messed with him, which was hilarious.
Because
he's like, "All right, that's enough. Like, shut the fuck up. Now I'm gonna joke with you."
Because he's been beaten so horribly by the samurai. Like the ninja destroyed him, and he's still getting over that. He's barely clinging back to life. He's having his internal conflicts with everything, and he doesn't really have time to deal with Foggy.
Yeah, he's like, "Shut up already."
So it was intense.
Yeah.
And this is an intense show, and left it at a good point. I'm excited to see what they would do next, because we've got, everyone's in prison now. Like he solved the first wave of things.
Uh-huh.
And so now are we going to introduce new villains? Are we going to introduce new people?
And there's so many people they could throw in there.
Is Fisk how long is Fisk going to remain in custody?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing.
I would love to see a cameo from Punisher.
I think that'd be great.
One thing that I really appreciated,
you spin off from there.
One thing I really appreciated was they made very, very tiny references to the Marvel Universe.
Yes.
They did. When I watched S.H.I.E.L.D. for the first time, I was like, "Shut the fuck up! Stop talking about Thor. Stop talking about all these characters." There was like 5 references to the Marvel
subtle.
Universe.
It starts off with the Battle of New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
saying like market price has gone down ever since all the stuff happened in New York.
I love that they barely touched on that, because there's
some little references to Thor, Captain America, but they're just like they're essentially the same references that someone would make as a comic fan, but they're real people.
Yeah, it was really good that they did that.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see maybe some more not as popular characters like Punisher, even though he's pretty popular, but some of the other small ones.
I forget all the ones that they've got lined up right now. I know AKA Jessica Jones is another one they were working on. Let's see if I can find any on there.
And that'd be cool if they could... Oh, no, I don't know if I'd want that. This is great podcasting.
Yeah. Come on, man. Help me out.
I heard that Ant-Man was coming.
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
Another one, Iron Fist, and The Defenders.
I'm not too familiar with The Defenders.
That's what I'm saying. Like these, I don't know these things, so and kind of. But those are the other series they're going to work on. And after seeing this one,
yeah, and just Marvel in general has upped their game so much.
They have.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to anything they put out there. Netflix in general, dude. Jeez,
yeah, they do good stuff.
Good stuff, man.
Go Netflix.
It's funny too because it shows up still as Daredevil TV.
Yeah.
TV series on Wikipedia.
Because it's TV. This is the new phase of TV, and I wouldn't be surprised. Netflix has so many good things on. It's now tough to see which is going to get the Emmy nomination because there's House of Cards and there's.
It's just funny that they still use the term TV series for this. Obviously, nothing but internet. However you watch it. Yeah, because it still shows up on the television.
What else you'd call it as they go on? It's going to be one of those old terms that's just going to stick around.
Yeah.
Even after TV's gone. But go Netflix.
Go Netflix. All right. Yeah. Grab the red ball.
It's not even there.
All right. So 5 stars. Yeah. Steffan's a gay homosexual.